This is my intro music. Welcome to the video. I hope you like it lots, so don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Now let's react.
Hey, hi, hello there, and welcome to another episode of An Anthropologist Watches Glitter and Lasers, who is back on YouTube. And I do want to kind of look at this a little anthropologically because there's a lot going on in this video. We are going to kind of look at this the way we've looked at things in the past, and we're reacting to this pretty quickly because this video is only 5 hours old, and Anna has already changed the title twice within those 5 hours. I was at the gym, yes, I was. I was at the gym and I caught Lindsay reacting to this live, and I believe the title to this was "The Truth About My Lipedema Surgery" or something like that. And now, as you can see, as of right now, which is 3 p.m. on May the 2nd, the title is "We Need to Talk." So the video is now 5 hours old, and she has changed it to "We Need to Talk." Now, a couple things. Either she didn't think that the title was performing well enough, because YouTube does encourage us to do this, to change the titles of our videos if they are underperforming. I haven't done that too much. I think there's a couple videos I've changed the titles of, either because there's a few that I've changed the titles of because they had typos. So I don't know if that counts, but I do have spelling errors in my titles frequently. So I don't know if that counts. But sometimes I do just change the entire... I think there's been a handful of times that I've changed the title of the videos, and it's either because I feel like there's a better title that describes the video, and lives don't count because a lot of times I will just throw up a generic title like Tuesday members live or something like that, and then later I'll change the title to kind of describe what we actually did during the live. So lives don't count. But a lot of times Anna will change the title of her videos because they've offended someone, or the original title she's put up is not what she intended. But she did have this, the original title of this video. See, I thought it was "We Need to Talk," and that the title of Lindsay's video was the new title, which would have been more descriptive and more accurate to what the video is about. But now that I'm seeing here, I'm back from the gym, that this is the title is "We Need to Talk," means that she changed it from the more descriptive title to this less descriptive title. Now, give me just a second. Sorry, I jumped in and it wasn't anything like what I just told you it was. The title of the video was originally "The Surprising Reality of My Life Right Now." And this incredibly bitter face that Anna is making in this particular screenshot is later on in the video, and Anna is telling us how we're awful, horrible people, and we should be grateful that she's even allowing us to exist in her life. It's just such a way of making her audience feel wanted. Anyhow, hey, Weird Wicked Wednesday, good to see you. This is Lindsay's live. I will try to remember to link it down below. We're not going to be using Lindsay's video other than this screen grab here, just because I wanted to show you guys that the title of this video was different 5 hours ago when Lindsay streamed it. Now, Lindsay, because I caught this on the replay crew, so I was not watching this live when it happened, but I was listening. And Lindsay was actually covering a Booty Beauty video before she was told by her audience that Glitter had just dropped the video. So she covered this the minute, right as Anna had set the video to go live. So this was the original title of the video when it went live, "The Surprising Reality of My Life Right Now." And somewhere between Lindsay reacting to Anna's video and me getting home from the gym, or actually even seeing it, because I screen grabbed this and put a comment up on my community tab talking about how Anna, because I've already watched this by itself before I even watched Lindsay's video. I've watched this a few times, you guys. Anyway, when I saw this, it was called We Need to Talk. So I didn't even know that the title had changed until someone had mentioned it in the comments. And then I went back and checked Lindsay's video and I was like, well, and I screen grabbed it because I had a sneaking suspicion Anna might change the title on this because she does that shit. Now, I don't really know why. I really don't know why she might have changed the title because it really wasn't anything weird or strange. I don't know. But the We Need to Talk is very amber coded, very I'm going to scold you naughty naughty children. And considering the tone that this the video takes, it very much is Amber lecturing us because we were not the supportive ass kissers that she wanted us to be, and how dare us, and we traumatized her, and we don't deserve to be in her life, and she's creating boundaries, and oh, by the way, she hates YouTube and something something, but she's coming back for us because we need her. Thank you, Anna. Thank you for your martyrdom. Okay, anyway, I cannot wait to react to this. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Anyhow, this is Anna's first video since, as you can see, her Christmas collection, how Christmas sweaters really look on different body shapes, which was from 5 months ago. Now, if you recall this video, this is when Anna was getting a lot of complaints about her Christmas sweater collection. Everybody was complaining about how all of the sweaters were cropped and nobody wanted to buy them, including people who supported her. And in response to that, Anna was like, no, you're all wrong. Here's a bunch of people wearing my sweaters on different body types. They still all looked like they were basically cropped sweaters. And she basically just told everybody, you're wrong. Here's the sweater. Sit and twitch. That went over well. She's got her public relations down pat. Anna's response to criticism is effectively, shut up, you're wrong. How dare you criticize me? You're traumatizing me. I'm going to go cry in a corner now. Wah. And that seems to be her MO. And it's a very strange strategy. But it works for her, which confuses me because I feel like any other grown-ass adult, she's 40. She's 40, 41. She might be 42 this year. She's either going to be 41 or 42 this year. In October, and I know that because she's got around the same birthday as me, and we're roughly the same age. So there's a lot of I got a lot of overlap with Anna, and it just kind of kills me a little bit because it's like if I acted the way Anna acted in my daily life, I wouldn't be able to get away with this shit. Like, I can't even imagine what my life would be like. But I wouldn't be living high on the hog and renting out okay, I had this discussion with my live audience. I've had people send me links to things that I didn't really want links to, but I have them now. I don't for a minute believe she's renting a $7,000 apartment. However, knowing now what I know, she is definitely renting something that is between 4 to 5K, like low end. So she's still renting something that's up there that is like 2 to 3 times what I pay for my 2-bedroom. And she's at least even if she's just renting a 1-bedroom. So she's still renting high. I don't think she's renting a 7K apartment though. That being said, if I behaved the way she did, I would not be able to afford a let's be generous, 5 to 7K apartment a month. Wouldn't be able to do that. Plus whatever she's paying for her car, plus whatever she's paying for these. She's still trying to sort of kind of make it sound like she's paying for these surgeries, even though I don't believe she is. Plus, the money she just pays to exist, she's still got to buy groceries. She's still got to buy everyday stuff. She's still got to feed her dog. She's still got to like pay her employees. You know, I wouldn't be able to do this if I acted the way she acts. Maybe I would. Maybe that's the secret. Maybe the secret to life is acting like a petulant child at the age of 40. Maybe I missed out. Maybe by acting like a full-ass grown adult and taking responsibility for my life, I fucked up. Anyhow, I am going to speed her up a little bit. I am impressed. Well, okay, she's got the new T-Rex arms. She could be good. She should be good with that. I am going to speed her up to time and a quarter. If you notice that there are like quiet spots, it's because there was music that had to get pulled. The only time my videos ever get hit is with Anna, and it's because of music. So there you have it. And trying to think if there's anything else. Thank you everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. If you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe. I will be talking a little bit about, you know, manipulation and that kind of shit as we get on to it here and there. But I do plan to do like a deeper dive on this one when we get done with it, because I am planning on doing a full-on review of her lipedema / surgery arc, because it's been a year at this point, because I think she started talking about it in April. She didn't get her first surgeries until later on in the year last year, but I think she started talking about it around April of 2024. So anyway, I just kind of want to do a deeper dive on all of that. Plus, I still have all of the retro stuff on her that I really want to get finished, and I would like to get it finished by June or July of this year, because I need a deadline or else it's never going to get done. If we all remember how long it took me to get her damn book done. Anyway, so that being said, this is a 27 and 37 second video, and we all know I talk a lot, and we're 12 minutes in. Let's go.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
I think that is her coming out of her 4th surgery. She's going to talk about her 3rd and 4th surgery in more detail in this video, just FYI.
Have been waiting an entire.
But she is going to use clips from all 4 surgeries. So if it looks like she's jumping around with video footage, it's because she is.
Year to like live, and I've had to live this half-life for like 12 months, and so now I get to just go.
God, I hated that outfit. One thing to note though, and this is something that she mentioned in one of her shorts, more reasons why I want to go over her surgery arc in chronological order. Sorry. Is she mentioned that she liked having a different color underwear set for each surgery, which will make life a little easier for us, because we will be able to know which surgery she is on by the underwear set that she is wearing for her markings, because she always had to wear black for the comparison photos, but when she goes in for her markings and pretty much everything else, she's wearing a different color each time for each surgery. And I believe the very first surgery was like hot pink. I want to say the second surgery was that purple color. And then I know the final surgery was some kind of like coral pinkish color. Anyway.
Go be me, but like better.
There's a card that says, "This journey was incredibly complex and difficult. While we've done our best to capture it, some parts are impossible to fully show or explain." I mean, here's the thing. Anna's going to give us an explanation as to, later on, I don't know right now, but later on in the video, she's going to give us an explanation as to why she dropped YouTube like a hot potato, and she's going to make it our fault. But mainly, I think it is because Anna had a harder time controlling the narrative on YouTube than she did on TikTok and Instagram. And I also think trying to juggle a narrative on 3 different platforms versus 2 platforms, I think she found it to be more difficult, especially since around the first of the year, around January or February, she started a podcast as well with a very challenging recording schedule. Like they're putting an episode out every week. And so I think between that and she just basically got tired of YouTube. I think dropping YouTube was a strategic move for her, on top of she just really got tired of being challenged on YouTube. Like she's getting challenged right now. And is going to continue to get challenged. So
Back.
you never left TikTok and you never left Instagram. You just left YouTube. So this video is basically addressing YouTube.
I know that I have a lot to fill you guys in on, and I do really want to explain why I took some time away. But first, I feel like
5 months. You took 5 months away.
I need to catch you up on everything that's kind of happened since my last video.
Why are you acting like the people on YouTube did not watch anything that you posted anywhere else? Like, why are you acting like your social medias are separate? You're acting like people on YouTube don't watch you anywhere else. Your subscribers do not only subscribe to you on one platform, right? Which is why when people want to say that you've got 12 million subscribers across whatever many social media platforms, it's incorrect. You do not, right? But you're going to sit here and act like the people who subscribe, the 2.5 million people who subscribe to you on YouTube, or 2.3 million people who subscribe to you on YouTube, only watch you on YouTube. We never go to any other platform to watch you on anywhere else. Anyway.
So right now I'm actually leaving for my next surgery tomorrow, which is kind of wild to think about. I can't believe it's tomorrow, but
do keep in mind she is sped up.
I need to pack because I, of course, have not, because that's just who I am. So I'm going to let you guys go and I'll see you at the airport. So obviously I already made a bunch of videos about surgery number 1, which you can watch here. There's a link up, but
there isn't, by the way. I can't figure out how to make those damn things work either, so I'm not going to give anybody shit about those.
The whole objective of that surgery was to clear out
a butt,
my pelvic girdle and the outside of my thighs. And the reason they did that in surgery 1 is because it was the worst, the most congested area, and it was the place I was experiencing the most pain. One thing I definitely learned that I didn't anticipate was that it's a lot more emotional of a journey than I thought. I thought I would just bounce back and I would just be my old self right after surgery, but your hormones are like all over the place.
Even though you were constantly posting videos about how you were a super healer and you really did just bounce back and you weren't having any kind of ill reaction to anything until you suddenly decided that you were having some kind of reaction, and it was hormonal, and you needed the other super rock star ambassador to explain to you that having a bunch of fat sucked out of your body was going to reduce the amount of estrogen that your body was producing, because fat is adipose tissue is hormonally active and it produces estrogen. And why your doctors didn't explain that to you, I still can't remember. I still can't figure out. But apparently you needed somebody else who has also had liposuction to explain that to you. And I think it was just a way for you to name drop. But anyway.
And it's tough. And I don't like resting. It's just not something I like to do. And that was very mentally challenging for me to be in a place where I had to literally lay low. Like I already said, you guys have a lot more information about surgery 1 because I made those videos, and so I don't really have much more to add than what I've already put out there. I do need to kind of update you guys on surgeries 2 and 3, but I also need to catch this flight, so I'm gonna go, and when we get to Utah, I'll fill you guys in about those surgeries.
For those of you wondering, this is her leaving to go to Utah, Salt Lake City, to have the, 4th surgery done. Yay.
Next stop, Utah.
So see, she does still get 2 seats because she still requires 2 seats, if you will notice. Hang on, let me see if I can back this up without going too crazy. Oh, apparently not. I know it pisses people off when I scoot around inside the video, so I'm just gonna pause it here so you all don't have to watch me try to find the scene that I want. So anyway, so as you can clearly see, Anna still takes up 2 plane seats. So I just wanted to point that out to people. Anna has always, because I have had people ask in the comment section down below, does Anna get 2 plane seats. Anna has mentioned more than once, at least when she was traveling more frequently, that she does get 2 plane seats. I will give her this. She is a courteous traveler. There is one time that I can remember her not getting 2 plane seats, and she filmed herself having a complete mental breakdown over it because she couldn't fly because she didn't have 2 plane seats. And it was actually her going, I believe, to the happiness retreat, which ironically, I just think that's funny. But that was like the one time, and she even said that, it's like, she's like, it's the one time I didn't buy 2 seats, because she, for whatever reason, thought that there wasn't a need for her to do it that one time. But she said in that video, I always book 2 seats, and this one time I didn't, and now I can't fly because I don't have 2 seats. Anyway, so there you go. Anna always books 2 seats, and it clearly looks like she takes up 2 seats, so clearly the surgeries are doing wonders for her.
Next stop, Utah.
How do they talk in Utah? What's the Utah accent? I'm not from Utah. I keep throwing in that southern slang in there, but I don't know. Y'all talk like that in Utah? What's Utah sound like? Here's the Mormon Tabernacle. Is it true, those of you from Salt Lake, is it true that you just float in the Salt Lake because there's so much salt? Is it true that you just like float because there is so much salt in said Salt Lake? I don't know. As these are things I've been told about Salt Lake.
So we got to our hotel, and as you can tell, it is almost nighttime. Surgery
It is? Okay.
2 was an interesting one. It was to take care of my inner
There are palm trees? No, wait.
thigh.
Okay, never mind.
And I decided
Blue. She said surgery 2. So surgery 2 is blue. All right, surgery 1 was hot pink. Surgery 2 is this teal blue color. Surgery 3 must be that purple. Surgery 4 is going to be that coral color.
and I, in hindsight, feel stupidly decided to go alone. I'm just waiting and shuffling around the room.
This is also where we get the videos of her dancing. Dancing.
Well, it's weird to not have someone to talk to. Last times I did this, I had someone with me, so I had like someone to talk to. I think that's so far the only thing that bothers me is that there's just no one to talk to while you wait. There's no one to talk to except you, internet. And that's why there really wasn't a ton of content around it, because I was on my own and I was very overwhelmed and it was not fun. And if there's one thing I learned from surgery number 2, don't go it alone. You don't need to be strong. You don't need to be superhero. You are there to heal. And I have a little bit of a superwoman complex. I can.
There's nothing. Look, I don't know who needs to hear this, but there's nothing strong or superhero-ish or whatever the fuck word you want to put it on there about doing things by yourself. Especially when it's things that I would assume she was told not to do by herself, because almost every time she's done one of these surgeries, she's needed someone to help her recover, to the point where she has hired nurses because she requires aid to recover. So I don't know why you need to be told that as a fucking adult, but it's okay to have people help you. Why do we have an entire generation of people who apparently don't understand that being an isolated island of a person is not a good idea? Because she's, oddly enough, we are not the same generation. And apparently that gap of just a few years is enough to make us 2 completely different outlooks on life. And I don't understand.
I can admit that. Like, I want to feel like I can do anything, and this I could not do alone.
Okay, straight up,
Yeah?
I am about a couple hours post-surgery now, and I hurt. So I have a feeling that this recovery period is actually not going to go as smooth as the previous one. I don't think it's going to be unbearable. I don't think it's going to be something I can't deal with, but I'm already realizing that like every surgery is going to be different in terms of pain. And every surgery is going to be different in terms of who you are. So for me, I just happen to have a lot of fibrosis on the back of my legs. And we knew that from when we did parts of my knee on the outer side. But I was not prepared for how I feel right now because I had such a great first experience that I thought I was like, I'm just going to be fine. I honestly think I will feel better standing and walking than I do laying because laying forces me to put pressure on the places where the fibrosis was removed. I feel like I need to talk about this in every video, but you will fart and burp a lot, like a lot.
Why do you feel like you need to talk about that in every video? Like, why? Why do you feel like I need to know that in every video? But that's fine. I mean, if that, look, I think I say this frequently, but poop jokes are funny. Bathroom humor will always be funny. I just don't know why you feel like you need to share this constantly. I mean, I guess, whatever. Fart jokes. I'm laughing, so I guess it worked.
And you will feel gross. It is normal. And I think there's a certain like acceptance that happens after like the third day of all out farting for your life.
Since we're talking about it, how bad of a fart are we talking here? Because, like, there's a fart. This is a fluffy fart, right? Like, I don't feel gross after the little floof fart. Like, how bad of a fart are we talking? Like, are we talking, like, you need a bath afterwards? Like... talking like a full-on Dirty Sanchez over here? Like, what are we talking about? Oh no. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm very, very sorry. I apologize. We can do this, I promise.
We're just like, this is me now. I'm a fart factory. And then it'll stop.
Okay.
So I am today fart factory. I'm owning that truth.
I don't need to know these things. It's fine. Farting is something we all do. You know that book, Everybody Poops? Everybody farts too. You know, frogs fart. Do they? I don't know. But they do in my world, so there you go.
One of the things that was really hard post the second surgery as well
farting?
is that I was not fully recovered from my first surgery. It was 2 surgeries really back to back, coming out of recovery and then going immediately into another surgery. And when I say recovery, I mean like the very initial stages of recovery. And this is something that I realize people do not understand.
You're right.
They expect like the results to be immediate. And I think that's because people are very familiar with like weight loss surgery.
No, I don't think that was the problem, Anna. I really don't think that was the problem at all.
Where you do see results very quickly, like people begin to lose weight and they're like, oh, her body's changed. That is not how these surgeries work. The recovery period for these is up to like 18 months to 2 years. So
I have never had liposuction, but I call bullshit. I'm sorry. On a 2-year recovery period, I call bullshit. I don't expect to see like instantaneous results. Like, I understand that there is swelling when there is trauma to tissue. I get that part. And I know that the way that they do this particular types of surgery that they were doing to her is they basically like TMI moment, so plug your ears and hum if you don't want to hear this, but they like inject fluid in order to pull material out of her leg. I don't want to talk about it. That's why I'm being non-graphical as much as possible. But like, so I understand that that can cause some swelling, which can cause it to not look as dramatic as one would hope. But the problem that people were having with your recovery wasn't that your results weren't showing as quickly as we would like them to have shown. The problem people were having is that instead of showing reduction, you were growing visibly. That was the issue people were having. And it was like reverse, right? Instead of staying the same, which is what I would expect, you know, and if you're not going to show reduction, I would expect to stay roughly the same or maybe just a smidge swelling. No, you grew measurably. Like I could see it with the naked eye that you were going, whoop. I think that was the problem people were having. I don't think people thought that you were having weight loss reduction surgery. People thought that you were having 11 pounds sucked off of your legs, and they were expecting you to at least look the same, not grow. And that's the problem people were having.
That's all I really have to say about that. I am tired. I'm also hungry, so we're gonna go get some dinner. And the next time I will see you guys will actually be tomorrow morning when we are taking pre-op photos, because that's it.
Did you go to Dim Bung Thai? Was that the place that she went to get the soup dumplings? Dim Tung Fung Thai? Don't remember the name of the place. I wonder where she went to get her soup dumplings this time. No, she went to not Raising Cane's. Where did she go? Or did she go to Raising Cane's? She went to a chicken place. Let's go get fried chicken. Fried chicken.
9:30, which means I gotta get up at a terrible hour. Pray for me. I am so tired.
What time did you have to get up?
Which means I gotta get up at a are taking pre-op photos, because it's at 9:30, which means I gotta get up at a terrible hour.
What, at like 8? Gotta get up at 8? Look, man, I don't get up at I don't get up at like a normal working hour either, but like 9:30? Okay. Okay, Amber.
Pray for me.
Like, what? What? Are you like 2 hours away from the doctor's office? Because then, like, I guess, because then maybe you got to get up at like, you got to leave at like 7:30, I guess. So that then you need to be up at least 6:30, but that's still not an ungodly hour. Like, it gets ungodly when it's like 5:30. I start to be really bitchy when it's 5:30. Oh man, I worked a project one time where they expected us to be up by 4. And I was like, no. First off, no. Secondly, you're not going to get the rest of the crew to agree to that either. The poor person, it was like their first time being the crew chief, and they were clearly a morning person, obvi. And they were like, no, you know, if we get up at 4:30, then we can be out at the site by like 5:30, and yada yada yada. And I went, no one's going to be up by 4 or 4:30. You'll be lucky to convince people to get up by 5. Like, you might be able to talk us into 5. And they're like, no, I can get people to be up by 4. I went, okay. Guess who was not up by 4? None of us. 4 is too early. It's just too early. It's just too fucking early. Anyway.
I am so tired. Good morning, internet.
If you're not going to commit to the whole thing, just don't bother. You're not going to commit to the whole thing, just don't bother. Anyway, I hate this outfit. I like the color blocking. I don't hate the checkerboard look. I want it to be like a V-neck. I feel like the neckline is too high. Or to be like a nice boat. Be like a nice boat neck, maybe. I just feel like, or commit to a turtleneck. To commit to a mock turtleneck or something. It's too much in the neck. It's like swallowing her up in the neck. And I don't like that. I'm trying to figure out what because I don't hate the pattern. I don't hate the color. I'm trying to figure out what it is exactly about this outfit that I don't like, and it's all here in the neck. I need it to either be a lower neckline, something like a V, or just like a lower, look something like this, where it's just lower. I think a boat would look really nice, because then you could keep that block look on it, and not like intercept that with like a rounder, or anyway, talking too much about this.
I am here at the Roxbury Institute now. We're going to do my pre-op photos, get ready for surgery
Why do you wear your belts right underneath your boobs? That's not where belts go.
tomorrow, and I'm going to tell you guys all about surgery number 3.
Yay.
With that, let's get going, because I'm actually late.
How are you late to a 9:30 appointment? It's a nice building. Now, this is her going to her 4th appointment, but she's going to tell us more about the 3rd appointment, which is where she had her arms and her calves done. Calves? Anyway. So, according to Anna in her TikToks and her threads and Instagram, anyway, she just willy-nilly decided that she wanted a new location for her 4th surgery because she was just so burned out with all of her surgeries. She needed a change. She needed a change of scenery to make her want to even have that 4th surgery done. So she decided to go to Utah for this 4th surgery. Now, what she didn't tell you was that this location is a actual medical clinic. This location is kind of basically a hospital. So should something have gone catastrophically wrong during her 4th surgery, which as my understanding is, the 4th surgery was a 360 liposuction thing. So it had the potential for more things to have gone wrong. And so should something have gone wrong, they would have been able to respond faster because they would have had stuff in-house there. This is my understanding of the situation. So I don't think Anna willy-nilly decided just, oh, Utah. That sounds great. I don't think that's what happened at all. I think because Amron flew out to Utah to perform this surgery as well. So she didn't change doctors or anything like that, which I think is good as well. And I have some interesting things that I've learned-ish about Amron as well. Because I watched Lindsay. And I highly recommend, I'm going to try to link, I think I already said this, I'm going to try to link Lindsay's live down in the description down below. So if you don't see that there, let me know in the comment section and I will be sure to drop that link in there. But anyway. Oh, so I think what happened, this is me thinking, my personal opinion, nothing to back this up. This is just me talking off the top of my head. I think, she was contractually obligated to basically advertise for the Utah location as part of her surgeries. And B, they needed to have her out here in this location because her 4th surgery was more complicated than the other 3 that she had done, because should something have gone wrong, and this one potentially could have gone wrong, because not only was it a more complicated surgery, as per my understanding, but B, Anna was bigger during this surgery than she was during any of the other 3 surgeries, because Anna did nothing but gain weight from her 1st surgery forward. So I think there was a number of reasons why Anna was sent to this location. I don't think Anna chose to go to this location. That's my personal opinion on the matter. I have no idea what the truth of the matter is, but I've come to the point where I don't trust what Anna says. So there you go. I'm speculating.
I told you we would liven it up shortly.
Yeah. He's like, it's quiet around here.
Hello.
He was like, it's quiet in here.
Not for long, buddy.
Anna's shown up. It's not going to be quiet any length of time.
Got a big mouth and a big heart. I literally don't know what the hell
Because it's oversight. Wait.
I was thinking changing up the location of my final surgery. LA is at this point very familiar to me. I know how everything works. I know the whole staff. I know the procedures. Even though
Right.
technically those things are the same in a different location, it still feels completely brand new. So I had a weird amount of anxiety going into this surgery because it just wasn't familiar.
And yes, she's still got her waddle walk, even though she's had all of the decongestive surgeries on her legs that she's going to have.
So every time before we actually have surgery, we take what's called pre-op photos. And this allows us to compare
This particular set of pre-op photos, I believe, is the first set. So
Hair pre and post surgery. And it's
the pre-op photos are a little bit more difficult because she's in black all the time.
highly controlled. So like your body's in the same positioning. I wear the same exact underwear set every single time. And it just allows you to have a really fair comparison. We talk a lot about online about how comparisons aren't always genuine. People are standing in different ways, wearing different clothing. Things are pulled up higher or lower. This allows a real true
AKA, I don't like it when people take various pictures of me, even though I'm in the exact same position wearing a bikini, and like to compare my body across those pictures, pointing out that I've gained or lost or whatever. I don't care, honestly. I think the fact that she's doing these comparison photos and people have been using said comparison photos to make the observations that they make that she is gaining weight during these surgeries. Okay, I mean, like, all right, fine. We can't use arbitrary pictures from your past, even though they're in roughly the exact same positions and you're basically wearing bikinis in most of those pictures. Like, okay, fine, cool. You're right. Lighting, positioning, standing, even the clothes themselves, and a lot of her more, in pretty much all of her pictures from like May onwards, she's wearing some form of compression because suddenly she's discovered compression garments. So that's going to change the way she looks as well. But these photos that she takes with the Institute, she says, with the exception of, I think, the second round of photos, she wears a full panty as opposed to a thong. They're all in the exact same position. She's wearing black. So all of the exact same things are exposed. It's like, okay, but what's going to be your complaint when people start using those photos, as they have been, to compare you to you, surgery to surgery to surgery? And apparently anyway, she's going to say that there's going to be a final set of pictures a year from now, so in next April, to show her final progression from all of her surgeries. So what's going to be your objection then when we're comparing your literal medical comparison photos? What are you going to complain about then?
true, honest comparison before and after. And so I have really focused on making sure I always have the same underwear set. I always have the same poses. I'm always smiling in my photos. I don't want you to think that I'm like sad at the beginning and happy at the end, because that's bullshit too. So I like that I have this to be able to show like the results in a real, like almost scientific way. This
I mean, good job, Anna. I'm so glad that you've committed to this. Gold fucking star. Okay, cool. So I guess these are the before photo. Yeah, these are the before photos for the fourth surgery, and I'm saying that because you can tell that her arms have been done, and of course she's smiling. She's got her neck pulled. She's got her head pulled back oddly. Unfortunately, she's on a black background with her black. That's very strange. She's on a black background with her black panties, and it's pulled up over her stomach. So
is the last time I will take these photos before surgery, though I probably will come back to probably LA to take a final round of photos in about a year. We're doing a second round of photos like this just because I am having torso surgery and we want to be able to specifically see the torso, and the underrib does kind of hide that. So we'll have different photos for just this surgery. That's it for the pre-op for this last surgery.
I also think it's very, very sneaky that she's not showing the photos for those, because she knows people are using these photos to do exactly what these photos are for and compare them to her before photos for all of her other surgeries, basically using them to do again what these photos are for and compare her body. It's unfortunate, but that's again what the photos are for. And unfortunately, the photos are telling the story that Anna doesn't want told, and that's the surgeries. I don't exactly understand the point of the surgeries, to be perfectly frank with you, but what they are showing is that Anna's physical mass is growing during the surgery, in between the surgeries. So though various areas are getting liposuctioned, Anna's overall mass is increasing during the surgeries. So I don't know. I don't know what Anna's getting out of this, I guess is where I'm going with this. But Anna is continuing to come up with this narrative of, oh my God, you guys, I feel so great after each one of these surgeries. Wow. And that's why everybody's just kind of calling BS. So, I don't know. Is that purple and black or gray and
excited
black?
to be done. Like, I have no regrets about doing it, but I am ready. I'm ready to close this chapter and get to live.
I'm getting more and more familiar with Anna's, like, nonverbal communication that she uses. And, well, she uses it. But I'm getting more and more familiar with it, especially when she's being, I don't know if deceptive's the word I want, but when she's being untruthful. I guess deceptive's really the word I want. And that wasn't exactly truthful, but I can't tell you exactly what she was being dishonest about exactly, because she said a lot there. So, all right, sorry, I decided to cut this up into 2 parts because it was so long and I talk a lot. So, but I have a really good editor who will probably find a really great place to maybe cut this in half. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Anyway, if you've made it this far in the video, go ahead and put I don't know, a flower of some variety, because it's a nice sunny day and it's spring and it was Beltane yesterday. So there we go. Yay. Beltane. But yeah, so I'm not entirely sure how far we've gotten in the video at this point, but I know that Anna has been telling us about her surgeries, and I know she's done a little bit of complaining about how the internet wasn't being all super nice to her and telling her what an awesome person she was for having all these surgeries, and how people were questioning her, and how dare we question her, and she should be the one and only source about lipedema and these surgeries, and how dare we go look for other sources, and yada yada yada. And I know it's going to get worse from here on out, but I also know I've probably said what I'm going to say throughout the video, so I probably don't have a lot to wrap up here. But I will say that, like, I still, and I think I say this later on, probably in the second half, but I still just don't feel like Anna was, or is still even prepared to be scrutinized the way she is being scrutinized. And I say this a lot. I kind of feel bad. I really do. I just feel bad. But here's the thing, like, she's on the internet, right? And she's not going to stop being on the internet. And I kind of feel like she's not learning. And I don't feel like it's like, oh, well, you should learn. I feel like people keep trying to, like, explain to her what she should stop doing. And she keeps going, no. And just, like, running into the wall over and over again, and people are just like, well, I guess if you're gonna keep running into the wall. I mean, that's kind of how I feel at this point. It's just like, quit sticking your hand in the fire, Anna. And she's like, fuck you, and just keeps running her hand into the fire, and I'm just like, I mean, you're just gonna keep grabbing a hold of the fire. What am I gonna do? So that's kind of how I feel about that. But anyway, so sorry for the abrupt cut, but you know, we can catch the rest of this up in part 2. And yeah, your emoji is going to be flowers for Beltane. And anyway, thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. You guys rock. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. If you're enjoying this kind of material, you may as well subscribe. And that's pretty much all I've got for you guys. So hopefully you will watch part 2, and I will see everybody then. Bye.
This is my outro music. You can't copyright strike me because it's just me singing. This is my outro music. Thank you for watching. See you next time.